Hello, team, and welcome to Eye on the Storm, broadcasting live from the Twitch office, actually, at our new show time today, 12 p.m. Pacific. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in, and we're sorry that some of you may not be able to join us at this new time, but we hope that you'll enjoy on YouTube, and don't forget, since we're here, that if you would like to subscribe to Misscliks, you can also watch our show VODs with chat replay as well. But all of that said, this is Eye on the Storm. It is a Heroes of the Storm talk show. I'm Anna Prosser-Robinson. That's my co-host, Gillyweed.
Hi guys, I'm Gillyweed, and this is Eye on the Storm. We talk about Heroes of the Storm every episode, and usually that comes in the form of bringing on a guest. This week's guest is Croin, and we'll have him introduce himself in a second. But we talk about things that are happening in the community, things that are happening within the game, and maybe even give you some tips to help improve your game along the way. We are also on the Misscliks channel. Misscliks is a community dedicated to uplifting females in the geek and gaming scene. Anna, we have a lot of cool shows on Misscliks.
We sure do. We have shows every day of the week except Saturday now, and 2 shows on Monday. So officially 7 shows a week, if I'm not mistaken now, which is a big deal for Misscliks, and we're proud to be one of them. So please do check out Misscliks. There's a lot of cool stuff you can watch. Gillyweed is on 2 shows. I'm on 2 shows. Lots of, and totally different things than esports, outside of esports. It's great. But today we're here to talk about heroes, and there's so much to talk about. And first of all, we would like to introduce our guest, Croin, from Gale Force Esports. What's up, Croin?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great, and we would love to just hear a little bit about you and start with just the basics. Where are you from? What's your background? What do you do other than esports?
Well, I'm from Massachusetts. I've been playing games for pretty much like as long as I can remember. Always been wanting to be competitive and take it to the next level. I played League of Legends for a while until like last year's dorms, the 2015 dorms, and I picked it up and kept with it, and here I am.
And you played in Heroes of the Dorm this year.
Yep.
And then afterward started up on Gale Force Esports. And so how has the last couple of months been for you? Has it just been like craziness? So much heroes?
It's been kind of crazy. It's been more so like surreal. I didn't realize that we would have success this quickly. So it's been a really, really great journey in the past couple months.
Hey Anna, apparently your mic is a lot quieter.
Yeah, I'm bumping it right now as we speak.
Okay,
so
cool.
Let me know in the chat. I have my eye on you. Let me know if those levels are still good. I'll try to fix them. But I should have evened us out a little bit just now, I hope.
Awesome.
So Croin, tell us a little bit about your pro gaming history. What role do you play? How did you end up there? And tell us a little bit about Gale Force Esports, all the other players on your team.
Well, I play a ranged assassin. I've just been playing ranged assassin pretty much ever since I started Heroes, which is kind of weird because I played support in League of Legends, so a little bit of a switch there. I was like, no, I wanted to be able to do the damage and kill things. So.
What do you think started that change? Why do you think you switched over?
I don't really know. I think in League of Legends, I think supports have a little bit more of a playmaking ability in League of Legends, I guess. But in Heroes, I think most of the obviously supports are very important and you need them to be really good. I think ranged assassins offer the showy playmaking abilities in this game, which I really think I excel on. So this is why I picked that up. But for the rest of my teammates, Fury plays Warrior. Michael Udall plays primarily melee assassin, but he can play ranged as well. Rufflecopter is the melee ranged flex. He sort of plays all around everything, and Darkface is the support player.
So you guys, I have to admit, and I've told you this before, that I was so excited when I heard who all was on your team, because it's some of my favorite people from all of different teams before. I've loved Fury for so long, and then of course Michael Udall and Darkface. I've always been a big fan of yours and Rufflecopter, so just everyone together, it was a dream team for me to get to see you guys all together. What is it like to play together?
It's honestly we synergize faster than I ever would have expected. After dorms, Michael and Akaface, like getting all that stuff settled and like just coming back. The first qualifier for DreamHack was like the next day, and like we only had like one warm-up scrim block and then right into the qualifier, and we almost beat Naventic in that series like on our first day playing together. So like I honestly like I love this team so much. Like I think our attitudes are really great. It's the attitudes that you need to progress like as a team. Like there's not any like standoff. Like we respect each other's opinions, obviously. Like I think we're a really, really great fit.
What is the organization itself like? I mean, you've talked about the players, but I'm looking right now and showing everyone Gale Force Esports, their website, now showing them their Twitter. What has it been like to kind of partner with them?
Honestly, Gale Force has, like, in their management, they have a group of really, the owner, Ryan, he's a really great guy. And people like Madness, our general manager, he works very hard. I know he took a little bit of flack, like, the changes that went on, like, and Rufflecopter and Akaface, but he is, like, he's all about, like, taking care of players.
Hey, hold on, Croin. Sorry.
Okay.
Gale, are you having the same audio issue as me?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Okay, good. Croin, we're actually losing you in the middle of sentences. Your audio is kind of coming back and forth. Maybe put your mic closer to your face and then double check here in our call if you can in the audio options to make sure that your mic isn't auto adjusting. But I think if your mic's closer, we'll be good. Oh no, you're not there. Okay, hold on, guys. We're going to take a brief recess. I'm going to put up our Be Right Back screen, and I will be right back. We're going to troubleshoot this audio issue for you. 1 second. Two. Hello, everyone. Thank you for bearing with us. Now, we were just talking about Gale Force Esports and what they're like as a team. And Croin, you were telling us about kind of the supportiveness of your management, right?
Yep. I was talking about how the owner, Ryan, he's like a really great guy. He is always like looking to support his players, and he treats us like really, really well. And then I was going a little bit into our general manager, Freddie Madness Crespo, how he took a little bit of flack, like when Gale Force brought on Michael Udall, Rufflecopter, and Akaface. Mm-hmm. So it was a weird time with like Equinox leaving and us trying to get players for the qualifier. And he took a little bit of flack for that, but he's always looking to have like what's best in mind for the players, and he respects the players, takes all of their opinions. Like he won't go do something like without checking with everybody first and making sure it's okay. Like, and everybody, even like Mudslide, who's the director of communications, he's been a really great help. Our analyst who we brought on for DreamHack, Sunshine, and our HOTS manager, General Clean, like they're all really great people. Like I love working with like all of them.
It sounds like there's a lot of people involved in Gale Force Esports. Because, I mean, sometimes esports teams, I guess, you know, they seem very professional and well-established, which many of them are, but a lot of them are run by surprisingly very small teams. Mm-hmm. And when I say a lot of people, like 5 people is kind of a lot in some teams, but that's great that you have that support infrastructure. So,
yeah, no, it definitely is. Definitely is, sorry.
And you got to work with Sunshine. That is like an old teammate of yours. You guys were the Cho'Gall.
Yeah, we were. Sunrowan. Never forget. Never forget.
I was really excited to get to see him there and get to meet him along with you. Mm-hmm. Well, we can move on to DreamHack unless you have other questions, Anna.
No, let's go ahead and do that. And I actually, One of the things that Gilly mentioned to me right away when we were talking about having you as a guest is she showed me this tweet that you made, Croin, that said, "I'm literally crying. First LAN I ever qualified for. Hella GG's to Cloud9 with an insane series. Love you all." So tell us a little bit about qualifying for your first LAN.
It was all right. It was pretty crazy. Like all of my life has been like building up to like that moment pretty much. Like I've always wanted to do things in esports and be competitive, and that was like the next step, I guess, in that process. I've been like reaching for that for like so long, and to finally be able to like achieve that, and like in the way of beating like Cloud9 to be able to do that, it was just it was that like that on top of being able to qualify in general. It was just so much, and I was like very emotional in that moment.
That's so cool. When you say you've always wanted to do something in esports, where did that dream start?
I think it just started with like just a love for games in general and being like a naturally competitive person and seeing that like, hey, some people like have success in doing this and being professional players. Like I want to be able to do that too. It's like I watched like the first esports like documentary I watched was like the Dota documentary, and even though like I've never played Dota, it's still like really inspiring to see like there's so much like love and hard work and effort put into all of that. It's something that like I just want to be a part of like for as long as I can.
So it was, DreamHack was your first LAN, and there's always talk of, you know, the first LAN jitters and nervousness and whether or not someone will be able to perform at a first LAN. And I was talking with Croin, those of you in chat, briefly before, and people were really pleasantly surprised and very happy with your performance. You guys won your groups, you made it to the semifinals. You did end up losing to Naventic in the semifinals, but still, like, you specifically did so well and played so well, especially for your first LAN. So what kind of expectations did you have coming into this event? Did your more seasoned teammates kind of give you the tips on what it would be like to play at a LAN, and was it as you expected?
I think people like kept it real with me. They said like, this is your first LAN. Like some people will perform better, some people might be a little nervous, and it's sort of up to you to like find your comfort zone. And I was like, I was always knowing that that was going to be the case. I talked to actually Arthelon a little bit like on Battle.net, and he said, yeah, it took me like a few LANs to really get adjusted to it, but like now that I play like a lot better. And I guess sort of the expectations I had for myself, like I didn't want to let like myself down or my team down or my organization down, and so I tried to really give it my all. And I think while I was a little bit nervous, I think DreamHack was like the perfect first LAN to get me acquainted with just the whole experience in general. And I think definitely at Burbank, like it's gonna show. I'm gonna play like even better than I did at DreamHack.
I wanted to ask too, DreamHack as your first LAN is really interesting because DreamHack is something really unique. I mean, it's huge, and the fact that DreamHack Austin was the first time that there had been a DreamHack like that on American soil, and it was kind of this landmark, like, if it works, maybe we'll get more DreamHacks in the US. and I mean, like, a lot of esports LANs, you don't have that whole BYOC area and all of that happening. So tell us, from the eyes of someone who had never competed at a LAN, what was it like to be at DreamHack? What was the most maybe surprising thing that you felt at that event, and what was like exactly as you imagined?
I think just there was a lot of people. Meeting everybody was as pretty much as I imagined. I was like really excited, like even from the when I qualified, it's like, I'm gonna get to meet like all these cool people. And it just like everybody, even like I know in specific, like the Twitch hospitality staff people were really amazing at DreamHack. And as my first experience, like I really didn't know what to expect. Like, are we gonna be like left on our own? Are they really gonna like help us out? And it was very pleasant. I think some things that I didn't really expect. I thought there'd be like a bigger practice area because like we showed up like I guess a little bit late, so we wanted to be like well rested and like sleep in for the first day to make sure we were like on top of our game. And there was I think like 4 computer setups for like 8 teams. I was like, I thought this would be a little bit more. And it ended up like not being too big of a deal. But yeah.
Well, you guys performed pretty darn well, I would say. Tell us a little bit about the results. I'm going to show here on Liquipedia. the results of the tournament. So sorry for spoilers if you haven't watched the VODs yet, but you probably should have had time to do that by now, guys. But yeah, tell us a little bit about the results. Are you happy with them? Maybe what were some highlight moments of the competition for you?
I think the real highlight for me was the first time that I was on the main stage. The first series versus Cognitive we played like in the practice area because it was like it was on the second stream. But we ended up beating Cognitive in a 2-1 series. But like on stage was really when I like had to maintain my composure and be like, okay, like this is what it's all about. Like this is the moment. And it was kind of the series would go to game 3, and it was a kind of close, but there was one moment on stage where I was like really calm and ready to like make plays, and I was like, I was made for this moment. Like this is something I really want to be able to do like forever. That's
so cool. I get little goosebumps. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the idea of like, don't you? Because those moments are so special when you're standing there and you're like, all those paths that I took led to this moment. So tell us about that calm, because as an esports competitor, that's what everyone's looking for, right? They're looking for that centered moment where they can perform at their absolute best and not be nervous, not think about everything that's riding on this. Because as someone who has this dream like you do, if you don't win, it's like, oh, all my dreams may be years away if I don't manage this particular moment. Tell us about how you achieved that calm.
I think a lot of it is just your mindset. You can psych yourself out saying like, oh, so much rides in this, and then get really nervous. I think it's just up to your individual like discipline in how you can maintain your composure. I just said, okay, this is a game. I've been playing it for so long. I know how to play it. It's something that I'm good at. And like that's all I was thinking about. I was thinking about in the game making plays. Like I wasn't worried about the crowd. I was trying to not be worried about the cameras because there was a lot of cameras that like I wasn't.
There are.
wasn't really used to. There's cameras like in my face. And I'm just like, I need to focus on the game right now, and I think I did that decently well. Obviously, we could have performed better, and we'll be looking to do that in Burbank. But yeah.
Your girlfriend got to come and watch. Did that make you more nervous, or was it something that helped you with calm too?
I think it helped me with calm. It was super exciting because we have a long distance relationship, and we've known each other for like 3 years, and I've only seen her like actually in person like one time before that. So getting to spend time with her was really like something good and like grounding for me. And yeah, she was a really big help just in my life in general and my confidence. So it was really good.
Something that I really want to ask as the chat is talking about this is you were like working the camera. You would hold like your comb up to it and then like put it in your hair when it would go up to you. Is that like, were you nervous to do that, or were they telling you to play it up, or is it just something that you're like, you know what, I'm on camera, I'm having fun, like I'm just gonna do this?
I think it sort of stems from I've wanted like sometimes I have the afro, sometimes like I would cut my hair, but I was like, no, I want my afro for when I'm on the stage or when I qualify for my first LAN, and I wanted to like play off of that, I guess, as much as like it's like, oh, the Croin afro, like get the Kappa Rosses in chat, like that's my goal. That's what I want to play off of.
That is a perfect call for this community. This community is obsessed with hair.
Hair Force Esports.
They
Hair
are.
Force Esports.
I mean, I think that is a top-notch marketing decision on your part, because I swear, man, this community loves hair more than any other esports community I know. So, and there's the Kappa Ross in chat already for you there.
I love it. That's my goal. That's my goal.
Well, before we move on to talking a little bit about some of the big changes that have happened in the game, if people haven't watched matches yet, or if they want to reminisce with you, what were some of the big play moments or some of the really memorable games that you would recommend people watch from DreamHack Austin?
I think most memorably, the last series between Aventic and Cloud9 was really back and forth, and it was a really good series all around. I think also Panda Global versus Naventic in one of like the first matches in the groups. Panda Global took a game off of them, and Naventic came back to reverse sweep it. That was a good series as well. I think a lot of the series were close and good.
Yeah.
Those two come to mind, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I would also add you guys' versus Astral Authority was a really great series. Astral versus Tempo Storm too. But I liked you guys' versus, and that was the first time you were on the big stage, is when you guys played Astral.
I think you're very humble. It's very nice. But what was your major play moment like? What do you look back and you're like, oh yeah, that was when I brushed my shoulders off because that was like a sick play.
All right, I think during the Black Hearts, I think it was game 2 versus Astral Authority.
Yes.
I was on Li Ming, and some Li Ming things happened, and I got a lot of kills, and I could hear the crowd a little bit under like the headset, and I think it was like near like the last team fight where we went to push core and win the game. That was really exciting.
I just watched that game the other day, and that's a good one. I love that game.
When you can hear the crowd under those headsets, that means they're pretty darn loud.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a little bit. I know there was a lot of Gale Force Thundersticks in the crowd, courtesy of my organization, and they were making things pretty hype.
That's amazing.
I thought that was really cool, and I had heard a lot of people in the crowd when I was hanging out there saying the same, being like, this is really amazing to see like a sponsor, the org, handing these out, getting people excited for their team, because it really did. People were, and they were cheering for you guys anyway. Like, you guys have a lot of charisma, you're the new blood, and you came out swinging and did awesome. But also, like, seeing the org behind you guys got a lot of the crowd really involved, and that was really cool to see.
Mm-hmm. I think the org is really supportive just of growing the scene in general, and that really showed at DreamHack. They were being like really nice to everybody, handing things out. Like it was really great to see, especially like being part of that org. Like it's an org that I'm able to be like really proud of and say like, yeah, that's my org. Like I feel proud when I wear the Gale Force jersey.
Yay! I love those stories in Esports. Well, we do want to leave time to talk about the game, but what is up next for your team? Where can people support you, and what should they watch for?
I think mainly the next upcoming event being Burbank. We're going to be practicing a lot for that regional, looking to win that and go to Sweden. Actually, we're doing a team AMA on Here's the Storm Reddit tomorrow at 7:15 Pacific time.
Cool.
So if anyone has any questions or anything, they can be on the watch for that.
Awesome. That's going to be really cool. Definitely tune in for that, guys. Mm-hmm. But let's switch up now from talking about DreamHack Austin and about Gale Force Esports to talking a little bit about what's been going on in the game. And since Heroes of the Dorm, and even before that, Gilly and I have been traveling all over the place, and so there's been a dearth of shows that we've missed. So there's so much to talk about. But we wanted to start first with just giving a brief overview of some of the new heroes and get Khroen's reactions to those. One that we haven't even touched on, which I am so sad about because I just adore her and have the biggest crush on her, is Tracer. I've got the Tracer Hero Week blog post from Heroes of the Storm up right now. And Croin, what are just like kind of your initial overall thoughts on Tracer?
I really like Tracer. I'm super excited to be able to play her because she was banned for DreamHack Austin, which I was a little bit disappointed about. But I think moving forward, she's going to be a really strong hero. I know she already received some nerfs, which I think were well warranted because she was powerful. But I still think she'll have a place.
Yeah, we can actually talk about that now. I had this listed somewhere already in the outline, but let's jump ahead to that because she actually did get her own, as soon as I can find it, her own little balance update that was all her own. Where is it?
She is love.
Well, yeah.
I'll just do Tracer
impressions. That's good.
Is that good?
Well, I don't have it. It's actually it's
pretty good,
Gilly.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm working on it for casting.
Yeah. There it is, right here on the side. Yeah, so she got her own little balance patch here. You can see some decreased health regeneration decrease, and basically the developer comments were like, she's just performing a little too well, and we kind of just need her to not perform quite so well. Do you guys think that the balance really addressed the concerns that needed to be addressed?
I think it's hard to say because I wasn't really playing with her in scrims, so I don't really know too much. I think in the next couple weeks, like playing with Tracer more, I'll really get a better, accurate gauge of that. I was able to play her a little bit yesterday in some scrims, and she seemed really strong. There's actually one comp in specific that I don't want to reveal yet, but I think it's going to be something that's really strong, and you can definitely expect GaleForce playing that.
Oh, I love it when you guys choose stuff like that. Secrets. Yeah, so cool. I think it was interesting in the developer comments too. At the end, they mentioned that they think Tracer is similar to Illidan in that the balance window for her is very small. They feel like she's harder to fine tune than others, which is cool. I think that makes her a really, like, I don't know how to explain it, but a desirable hero. I like heroes that are hard to balance. I like them. Feel like you don't?
The balance team probably hates you.
I know. But I feel like once they do get them, those are the heroes that are super fun to play. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, Gilly, any thoughts from you on Tracer?
I'm happy that she was changed. She is frustrating to play against. She's not really my style of play, to be completely honest, but I am very excited to see pros play with her and cast that. That is where I'm excited to see. I think there's going to be a lot of clutch plays made by her, but I do agree that she's got to be pretty difficult to balance just because of her sheer mobility. But yeah, I'm excited to see how she plays. I think she is allowed. This will be the first qualifier this weekend that she's allowed in. She's probably allowed in tours this fall. So this weekend will probably be the first time that we're really starting to see her a lot in the competitive scene. And more heroes, by the way, that are potentially difficult to balance. We'll be talking about in a second.
Yes. And we should move on to those, but I want to tell a quick story real quick. Can I? Do you mind?
Yes. Is it about the cavalry being here?
In a way, yes, it was. So at PAX East, which we just had, I don't know if you guys saw, but they had that Uber Watch promotion where you could get picked up in an Uber car that was themed for Overwatch, driven by an Overwatch character. Did you see this, Gilly?
Yeah, I saw your tweets.
Yeah. So I got the distinct privilege of being picked up by Tracer in a Lamborghini to be taken to dinner.
Did she say cavalry's here?
No, she didn't. Unfortunately.
What a wasted opportunity!
I know.
That's disappointing.
These were like, they had multiple Tracers, don't tell the kids. Because there was a Tracer who was like in the booth that was completely in character the whole time, and she was amazing. But these were stunt drivers that were actually contracted to do this stuff for Uber and for Blizzard. So anyway, she picked me up. She was a stunt performer, and we were in traffic in a Lamborghini, which is like the most frustrating thing ever. But we were just sitting there chatting, and I don't know if it's because I have such a huge crush on Tracer, or if it's because this girl was really cool. But at the end, I was like, "Can I give you my business card? Because I kind of want to be your friend." And so now we're friends. So Tracer and I are buddies, kind of in a kind of way. So I was really excited about that.
Excellent.
Yeah. So basically, I know Tracer, and you guys are all jealous. Is the point of that. Anyways, moving on. Again, we talked that we're just going to do a quick overview here of new heroes. So let's talk a little bit about Chromie. What do you guys think of Chromie?
Well, I want to hear from Croin first, yeah.
I'm really excited about Chromie. I think Chromie is going to be so good. I was on PTR playing Chromie yesterday, and she is insanely good. I'm so excited to be able to like pull her out in competitive matches. Honestly, I think she's like very overpowered, and we'll see how Blizzard handles that. But
I mean, with the time shifting thing, similar to Tracer, I feel like that's really tough balance wise.
Yeah. And also the fact that she gets her talents a level early. Hello, heroic ability at 9.
I do.
Awesome.
I do think it's a little, the heroic ability at 9. Her heroics aren't too impactful.
Yeah.
Like they're obviously their heroic abilities, so they're really good. But I think that sort of balances itself out in that way. I think at her level 13 and her level 15 are like a lot more impactful at that tier.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can be level 15 with Chromie and have her talent that I don't remember the name of it offhand, but every time she hits her Q, it takes up to 10 seconds to fade away, and it stacks up to 50% damage.
Yeah.
And that's
ability
really
power
strong.
one.
Yeah. That's really strong.
And like basically a really good ice block at 12.
Yeah, 7-second ice block. That
Yes!
is very interesting.
I was playing her. Maybe it was last night, and we ended up losing the game. But there was a Shadow Assault Zeratul, and as soon as I got that, he just like dived so hard on me. I'd be like, "Well, good luck with that." Completely waste your Shadow Assault. But yeah, what I really love about her is that her positioning, like it's so much about positioning, and the fact that her range is so large, like you really want to set up her abilities in a way that it's going to hit and they don't know that it's coming. And I think it's so much fun to get to play her. This is my type of hero that I like to play. I sit in the back and then I hit people with skill shots. That's what I enjoy. That's why I really like Li Ming. That's why I like Morales. His healing beam is not a skill shot, but it's the same concept. You sit in the back, nobody touches you. You're left alone to do your thing, and that's what I really like to do.
And that's why we're such a great pair, because Chromie doesn't work for me, because I want to just like, everybody come in and touch me!
Do you like Dahaka? Have you been playing on a Dahaka?
I haven't played him enough to say for sure yet.
I feel like you need to try him.
I think I'm going to love him.
I think you're going to love him too.
Yeah.
He is so much fun.
Yeah. Well, anything else on Chromie, because we do have another hero to talk about?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Well, in development we also have Medivh, which I always want to call Medivh. I don't know why. It looks like Medivh to me. Like maybe Godiva, I don't know. But I don't know too much about Medivh. I don't think anyone really does. Do you guys know too much about him?
I read his talents on Reddit and his abilities. I think he is very, very interesting of a hero. Mainly because of his his trait where he's able to pass over walls and not be targeted by anything while being able to soak.
Mm-hmm.
And provide vision.
And provide vision as well, which is very, very interesting. I'm not sure how that will work out yet, but I think he's also going to be a really strong hero.
Yeah, there were some concerns from what I've heard about the strength of this hero, and one who is, I think, going to be pretty difficult balance-wise. Like Chromie, you can change numbers, but Medivh is like it's portals, right? Like he is a true specialist in the sense that he is just one of those weird heroes. His trait is, you can fly around. He's got a portal that you place one down, and the other one places where you're at, and then your team can use the portals. You can't target them if you're the opposing team, and you can't use them if you're the opponent team. So you can use it to like dive behind team fights. He's got like a divine shieldish type ability where you give somebody invulnerability from damage. They could still be stunned. I think, but from taking damage, which is like, oh my goodness, that is strong.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of things that are just there. Like, do you remember when Casticide had to be removed because they're like, we have no way of really balancing this because there's no numbers involved with it? This is my fear for Medivh, is I like look at Medivh and I say, what are you gonna do? Like decrease the range of the portal, I guess? I don't know. Well, I have faith. I always have faith. But I know that there were some concerns, like, especially with the idea of this being a hero who is probably not going to be, like, super strong except at the very high levels of play, and then pros can just, rock with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like the direction Blizzard is taking with these heroes that have these really cool abilities. You see, like Medivh with the portals and the invulnerable. I think the invulnerable might be a little bit too ambitious. I think it might be a little bit too strong, but I definitely like the fact that they're throwing these heroes out there and being like, okay, these are going to be able to do this. And I guess you can sort of gauge the reaction from the community being like, whoa, that's way too powerful, or like, wait, I think that's like really balanced. So they're since he's not released yet, obviously, they're able to make changes along the way. I like the direction that Blizzard is going.
Yeah, I like that too. I like that they are not afraid to say, like, you know what, we're going to try for a ranged warrior, and then Rexar comes out, right? Like they want to break molds, and they are willing to do things like that, even as far back as Abathur and things with their different maps. And I do really love that about Blizzard, and they're like, we're confident enough in ourselves to be able to say, like, you know, we'll take feedback. If something is too strong, we will be able to figure it out, but we don't want to shy away from stuff that differentiates us from other games of similar types. And I totally agree with you on that, Croin. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, I think it bluntly gives more credence to the "we're not a MOBA" idea. Like, in the beginning, maybe it was easier to be like, well, I mean, this is basically falls into the MOBA genre. But the more heroes they make that don't really fit into categories that you would normally recognize, the more battlegrounds they make with objectives that are not typical, and the more that they really do this cool thing where they take lore and make it into mechanics. Yes. I think the more they do that, that really shows why Heroes of the Storm is an interesting, new, unique game. So I'm always really excited to see that. And as someone who plays Heroes of the Storm and got into it a lot because originally I like Blizzard lore, it's always fun to see them be like, here's a cool thing from Blizzard lore. How do we make it into a game mechanic, you know?
Yeah. Blizzard lore is actually like really amazing. I haven't gotten the chance. Eventually, I want to learn more about Blizzard lore because I only know like a little bit out of all that's out there. But it's really, really fascinating stuff, and like I really like that they're able to implement things like that.
Yeah.
Something that I got to talk to Derek Hagman very briefly about Dahaka, and I was talking about how much I love playing Dahaka, and they always are. They realize when things that they're putting on. Like regular abilities are very strong in how to adapt that to make sure that it's not too strong. So that's what gives me hope for that. I think it's Force of Will, I think is what it's called for Medivh, that shield that I was talking about, is that he said, you know, people were complaining about drag can be kind of difficult to hit. It's fairly, you know, there's a delay on it, and you have to be very knowledgeable about the ability to make sure that you're hitting it. And he was like, it was done on purpose. He's like, there's a reason other heroes or other characters in different games that have an ability like that, that's a heroic ability. So there's a reason why it was made to be more difficult to hit, and you have to know the hero and be skilled with them. And I thought that was cool to hear, is like, you know, they're always taking into consideration if like, oh, this is a pretty strong thing. We need to make sure that it's, you know, difficult to hit, and they're always taking those things into consideration. Derek, by the way, was the designer for both of the heroes, Chromie and
I was wondering, because they have his fingerprints all over them.
You know, I thought you'd be really excited about that. Derek is a good friend of the show.
I almost mentioned that as I was talking about taking lore and turning it into a game mechanic, because he's the one who really kind of introduced me to that idea through telling us about these heroes. So
yes, the fantasy of the hero.
Yeah, the fantasy. I love that guy. Hi, Derek. Hope you're fine. I wanted to mention before we move on, also Brawl with the Blues Chromie edition is going to happen next week on Wednesday. So the day before our next show, May 18th at 11 Pacific. So be sure to tune into that. Another friend of the show, DJ Tyrant, who has hosted or casted Heroes Hype Amateur series with us, is going to be on, as well as some other great friends of the show. So be sure to tune in and give them our love. Say we sent you. We would appreciate that. Any other thoughts on Heroes before we move on? Let's do it.
Nope.
All right, so the big news, of course, is this big ranked play revamp. And it's interesting because we started this discussion right before the show. We were kind of figuring out, you know, who wants to talk about what, anything we want to say. And actually the consensus between all of us was this feeling of like, I'm glad this is happening. It's very interesting. I'm not sure how it'll affect me because I've so not done ranked play in so long because the system was not good. Am I putting words in your mouth, or is that what we agreed, guys?
It's pretty much like I have to play the game a little bit to stay warmed up, but I very much dislike playing Hero League in its current state.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Coming from StarCraft, you know, Anna and I are pretty excited about the different divisions now with Bronze, Silver, Gold. Going into that way, shying away from more of the Hearthstone model, I guess is what you would call it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're really pumped about that. It's something that is home for us. We understand that, but yeah, Team League has always really been my big love. But when I can finally, you know, like get the people around, but it's been I'm always like, I'm traveling so much that I feel like I'm not warmed up and ready, and like I've been playing enough to feel like I'm ready to just like tackle Hero League and get there. But that's something that I'm planning on changing today, actually.
Today.
I want those rewards. I want to get there.
I think overall this is great, and actually I wish I knew which episode it was, but I went on a tirade once and I complained that I think the Hearthstone model specifically, I called it that. The Hearthstone model does not work for heroes, and we should be using the StarCraft model.
I forgot about that. But you totally did.
And this was like a year ago.
That was like beta.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it's had to be.
So
beta.
this is like vindication central for me, because I'm looking at these and being like, this is exactly what I asked for. So thank you, Base Blizzard. I appreciate you and I love you. So the way it's going to work, guys, is we have league tiers, which are bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, grandmaster, similar to StarCraft. And then within those, there are divisions 1 through 5. So you can be silver 1 through 5, platinum 1 through 5, etc. Which is cool. So it gives you a little bit more ranking and a little bit more to work for, instead of just like, I've been trying to get out of gold forever. How do I do it? That taking away that feeling of stuckness a little bit more. And then they also mentioned that they're going to be changing a few things to try to make ranked play a little more fair. There's going to be some skill level queue restrictions, meaning just trying to make it so that you are matched with players that are at your same skill level. And also, a lot of people were really excited about the fact that there are restrictions now for silenced players, that silenced players just can't queue for Hero League. Because if you can't talk to someone, you can't play with someone effectively in Heroes, which I think was an important demonstration of understanding from Heroes, because we've talked a lot about how we think there should, well, I'm going to say we, but at least me, have talked a lot about how we think there needs to be some sort of in-game voice client, because we need to be able to communicate better. So at least this shows me that Blizzard understands that if I can't talk to someone, I can't play Heroes with them, and that's really important.
Yep. It's such a team-based game that it would make perfect sense for it to be able to be a voice communication system within it. It's not like other MOBAs where, I mean, if it's a MOBA, it's not like other MOBAs where it's more, I guess, individually based. It's team-based, as we see like with the whole objective thing, rotations, everyone's just together from like the first minute of the game. It only makes sense.
Gilly, you mentioned the rewards. I'm looking at them right here. What are some of the compelling rewards for you, or are they just all exciting?
Yeah, I think the mounts are really cool. I like that they change depending on it. As the profile pictures are cool too, but come on, mounts.
Right.
Am I right? Mounts.
Obviously. Hello
yes.
Team.
So yeah, that's what I'm really excited about. I never changed my portrait really off of Lieutenant Morales anyway, so.
Yeah, mine's always Kerrigan.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, always.
We are such StarCraft girls.
I don't feel loyal unless I have Kerrigan as my portrait. But yeah, I mean, and also I kind of skimmed over the Master and Grandmaster area of this article, but check out these portraits, the badges, I mean, for Master and Grandmaster. They are crazy cool looking, so that's kind of a reward in and of itself. And as a pro player, Croin, are you excited about the fact that there is a Master and Grandmaster title now that you can achieve?
I'm very excited about this. I think this is a really healthy change for the game. I know before it's like, oh yeah, you can hit rank 1, but honestly, like, a lot of people were hitting rank 1 and it didn't mean too much. I think that's why a lot of people placed a lot of importance on the HOTS website. It's like, oh, like, what's your HOTS? Oh, like, mine's like 3K. Oh, mine's like 3.5K. Like, and the website isn't 100% accurate anyway, and so it's not healthy for the game. And I think it'll motivate a lot more players to want to climb with this new ranking system, and it's really going to be something that's good. I think I personally know I'm going to be more motivated to play and to try. Like, even when I first started playing Hero League and wanted to climb pretty high, I was like typing to my teammates like, hey, like, do this, like, rotate to this after. But I found myself getting less and less invested in doing that because I felt as though it didn't mean as much. Like, Hero League was just something you play to stay warm on the game and maybe like get your top 200 at the end of the season. But besides that, it didn't mean a lot.
I 100% agree with you. I think you hit it on the nose. That Hotslog is a really great, amazing website, but when a game has to depend on an external site for those kinds of pieces of information, then probably there's a problem. So I'm glad, and I think they've been working with Hotslogs quite a bit to figure out how to better things, if I'm not mistaken. So I think you hit it on the head, and that's good because it's time for us to move on to talking about the Heroes of the Storm PTR patch notes as of May 9th. You can see them here. So that was only a few days ago.
So actually on this too, they just released another PTR patch note.
When?
Like literally just
16 minutes ago.
Yep. It's so basically what just happened is it's trying to weaken stun lock meta a little bit. So a lot of stuns got the duration reduced. They also changed Arthas slightly, which dang it. But he was pretty strong with the changes in PTRs. I'm a huge Arthas fan, so having him OP never bothers me. But as long as we see him more, I'm happy.
I just opened these new patch notes up, and I see the first thing, Gale Force's Sun King's Fury talent being nerfed again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think is necessary. But it was really strong.
It was really strong.
Well, let's just touch on a few of the things that were kind of major for the PTR patch notes that we had on May 9th, just to check. I think maybe some of the interesting things were the questing talent changes. What did you guys think of those?
It's interesting that they're moving everything to a quest talent, but I know that's something that they're really focused on doing and adding. It's funny playing with questing talents because, again, I was playing Croin last night, and you feel this. You're just like, oh, I have to finish my quest. I must complete this quest before I can start really just getting into the team fights. And I don't know. What do you think as a pro player about the questing talents, Croin? Because I've gotten Dreadnought's viewpoint a lot, so I'd love to hear yours.
Honestly, when questing talents first came out, I didn't think they were healthy at all. I thought it would, as you were saying, players would be like, no, I don't want to fight until I complete my quest. I have to complete my quest to be an effective, viable hero. Yeah. And so I was really skeptical of that at first. I think now it's going towards a little bit of a better direction. I know I was experimenting with Chromie's questing talents a little bit yesterday, and I think her Q talent at level 1, I'm not sure what it's called offhand, but I think it's good. I'm still not sure if I would prefer there to be no questing talents or for there to be questing talents, because they offer a really interesting mechanic. I know Blizzard is all about pretty much expanding what they can do and seeing what they can, I don't want to say get away with, but I guess break the genre by trying to do. And I really respect them for wanting to do that. I just hope they can balance it effectively.
It does incorporate that WoW mentality, right? Questing is something that is very WoW centric, and so I know that brings it in. I like the sound, and at least the Q quest stacks with the Pierce, so that's nice too. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder about that too. If you're gonna have that situation where you see maybe less team fighting early on, and then you see rotation focused between the lanes a lot more to help people get those quests. They released the first quest and we didn't really see very much of them. There was a quest for Illidan, and that's never taken at one. Chromie, there's 2 of them there, so is there 2 or 3? I think
there's 3.
They're all
one for Q, W, and then for globes.
Mana, yeah. So either way, you have to.
It's either that or to get the level 1 clairvoyance ability,
right.
which she also has, which I don't think that talent's going to be taken very much. So it's pretty much, if you're playing Chromie, you're going to be taking a questing talent. And I think 99% of the time that questing talent will be the Q talent. I think when Blizzard does introduce questing talents and on the same tier, that they need to be balanced a little bit more to make the other ones appealing. Because right now the Q one is just so much more impactful, just as ability in general than the other ones. Because with the globe talent, Chromie already doesn't really have mana issues.
Right.
You can channel her ult, the slowing sands, and it costs 4 mana per second. You can have that ulti channeling forever and like lose maybe like 1 mana per second. It's like Chromie doesn't have mana issues, so that talent already is not likely to be taken.
Well, there is so much to talk about in the PTR now, and especially with this new update. And in fact, I'm gonna put a lot of a link there in chat. You guys can check out the new PTR balance update. It looks like it's a lot of hero changes specifically. There were some other big deals: healing well shields, some draft timing changes, battle momentum, some hero changes in PTR. Gilly has to leave because she's actually in a hotel, so we can't go over this show. But anything that between Gilly and Croin, anything else that you wanted to touch on in PTR that you specifically think needs to be noted before we move on to talking about Community Spotlight?
I do think there's one thing that's a pretty big deal. The battle momentum changes, not you can't get your heroic back quickly. I think it's more noticeable in heroes like Zagara with a really long ultimate cooldown. Previously, if you got battle momentum, you would be getting it back way faster. But I think the intention for having it on a long cooldown is so it's going to be on a long cooldown. So I think it's healthy for a game to be able to take that effect off, and it's a little bit more appealing because I think that it goes from a 0.5 cooldown reduction to like a 0.75 on some heroes, like a 0.6 I think on other heroes. Obviously, I think it's gonna be a good change, like a healthy change for the game.
For me, I am really excited about this latest PTR patch because I am very excited to see how that affects the stun lock meta, and even if it will change what heroes will be prioritized. I'm also very happy to see a lot of work on warriors. I think that is really cool to see. It's been ETC Murden for so long, man. Occasional Johannas. I'm ready to see some more
Bring back my Diablo!
All of the Arthuses, please. So many Arthuses.
Arthas is really strong right now.
Yes.
It's actually a little bit scary.
Well, they nerfed him a bit, so in the latest PTR one.
I haven't read that yet.
Yeah, well,
this literally happened during the show, so we're all kind of reading it as we speak to you guys. But
yeah,
I think the nerf was very warranted. I think we needed a nerf after seeing him yesterday in PTR.
Yeah.
So that's good.
But yeah, the biggest thing I am wondering about is the quest talents and how on big maps, if we maybe see fewer globe talents, and that would be just crazy, especially on warriors. If they don't get regen master, what are they going to start getting? So it's a lot of fun stuff, and it's so much that I think it'll really shake stuff up, and and we'll see how it changes it for sure.
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, guys, as we mentioned before this show, there's so much going on right now that we're not going to be able to deep dive too much more of it. We hope that we gave you a little bit of an overview of what you may have missed while we've been on hiatus, but don't worry, we'll be back to deep dive those things very, very soon at our new time, this same time. But before we leave, we want to do our community spotlight, and as we have a member of Gale Force Esports here, he is also a streamer, so you can find him on Twitch at Khroen/Croin, K-H, I'm trying to add the H, Croin. So Khroen.
H is a little silent.
Yeah, unless you add it like me, Croin.
Yeah, it's like the Medivh.
Yeah, Medivh. Exactly. I don't like that. Poor H's shouldn't be always silent. They should have a voice. Anyway, so you can watch Croin streaming. Croin, what's your streaming schedule like? When should people tune in?
I haven't gotten a consistent schedule yet. I think I'm going to start streaming after scrim time, so around 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock Eastern time, I think is when I'm going to be streaming. It might be a little early on the day before scrims. Tune into my Twitter to figure it out. I'll be posting my schedule when I figure that out for myself. So,
awesome.
GFE_Croin for that.
Cool. And then your teammates, we've also got Fury Hots streaming on Twitch, as well as Michael Udall. You've seen him before on the show. And not Rafflecopter. It is Rafflecopter, but it is not Rafflecopter on Twitch. NOT.
Is both at the same time.
Yes, exactly. So be sure to check out all of those guys streaming for Gale Force Esports. And then, of course, Gilly, there's lots of esports happening this weekend. What are they?
There's too many esports happening this weekend. No, it's going to be an awesome weekend for heroes. Gold League Grand Finals. Zoya and I will be casting that. It's at a stupidly ridiculous time for NA, but you can join us if you are up later up early on my stream on Saturday and Sunday. The big deal there is that if you guys haven't been watching, X Team defeated Edward Gaming 3-0 last weekend, and Edward Gaming was the second place team at the Spring Global Championship. So for sure we will have a different Chinese team representing the region at the Spring Global Championships, and this weekend is when we find out who that will be along with E-Star. There's also the third North American qualifier. There will be lots of streams for that, so I think it's twitch.tv/team/heroes esports has all the different ones, and we'll see what teams will be joining Gale Force Esports and others at Burbank. And that is Sunday. And then DreamHack Tours, of course, that's Friday and Saturday, and that should be on twitch.tv/DreamHack Heroes. That is the European second regional, so we'll see what team is going to join Dignitas at the Global Championships. So lots of esports and lots of different regions.
There's lots of heroes to watch, my friends, so feel free to tune in. Let us know what you think. If you want to interact with us, of course, always use the hashtag StormShow, and you can tweet at misscliks or at either of us. I'm at Anna Prosser everywhere, and you can find me using my website, annaprosser.com. Gilly, where can people find you?
Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, all Gillyweed SC2, like StarCraft 2. I know that I have not been streaming at all, let alone on my consistent schedule, and I am very sorry for that. It is for an excellent reason that I just have not been able to say. So as soon as I can, I promise I will, and then I'm working really hard to figure out how to get more streaming done there, and should have an answer for that very soon. But as long as I can stream, I'm hoping maybe on Friday I can stream for a little bit at my normal time.
And of course, don't forget to follow misscliks if you would like to watch VODs of our shows with chat replay. You can subscribe. If not, following is always really helpful as well. Follow at misscliks on Twitter to find updates about our shows and about this show. And then Croin, any shout outs that you would like to say before the end of the show? And also, where can people follow and find you?
Well, people can follow me on Twitch, just at Croin, Khroen. On Twitter, GFE_Croin. Shout-outs to everybody on Gale Force, everybody who's supported this whole community and everything. It's just been a blast working with everybody. You guys, just everybody in general. And actually, I have one thing to mention. So I was talking with Oddish yesterday and the day before that, and she thinks that she can beat me in a 1v1. And I was wondering if the both of you or one of you would be willing to cast this 1v1 between Oddish and myself.
Heck yes!
Ooh.
Oh, the throwdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love the public call-out.
She was sounding pretty confident. I'm like, all right, I'll take it to Gilly and Anna and see if they want to make this bigger. And
Well, maybe we can feature the show match on Misscliks. We'll have to,
that would be
Yes.
Okay, well, let's talk behind the scenes, guys. Let's
Okay.
make this happen. Community, keep us accountable. Let's make this happen. Thank you for that, Croin. Thank you so much for being our guest. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We've got to let Gilly go check out of her hotel, that jet setter. But we will see you again, same time, Thursday, 12 p.m. Pacific next week. Until then, bye-bye for now.